just start a riot. Might just start a riot. Might just start.
Hey guys, what's going on? It is TheVengefulSoul here today from English Muffin Gaming, and today I'm doing some Hawken. So you may have heard me talking about this game very early on in the channel when we posted our first videos and I was recording on a crappy computer. Back then, recording Hawken and playing, not to mention playing Hawken, was a dream for me, but looks like with my new GTX 770, I'll be able to do that. So, Hawken itself isn't exactly a very graphically intensive game, but the environment and just everything about it looks pretty. Yeah, pretty. Anyway, Hawken is if you guys don't know about what Hawken is, it's a mech shooter, similar to Mech Assault. And right now it's on Steam, and I believe it is free, except I'm not 100% sure because I had the game before it was on Steam, and since I already had the game, I now have to pay for it once it moves to Steam. But I think it may be free, or you might have to, in order to get the game, you may have to buy like a bundle pack, but that's just like $5, I'm pretty sure, and you get a lot of things in it, which I think are really worth it. So if you're deciding whether or not to play Hawken, I definitely think you should. So anyway, yeah, it's a mech shooter. I wouldn't say it's similar to Titanfall, because nowadays lots of people are saying how Titanfall is just a copy of Hawken. I wouldn't say that. I would say Titanfall is more like COD, but with mechs. This is more of a medium-paced game where basically if someone approaches you and you don't see them, and if they start shooting you, you're not going to instantly die like in Call of Duty, because in Call of Duty you're dead within 1-2 seconds unless it's like maybe longer range battle. But here the fights can take all the way up from 3 to 5 seconds all the way to something like 10 seconds. So it's not one of those like uber fast-paced games. So just putting that out there. And in Hawken there are actually 3 types of mechs. There is Class A, Class B, and Class C. So Class A mechs are light mechs like the one that I'm using. I'm using the Scout, if you guys can see here. It's a rather small mech and it's agile. Its overall damage is, I would say, medium to low, and it's not the most, powerful thing that's there. Right in front of me are Class C mechs that are actually in a special turret mode that they can go into. They're very heavy, they have a lot of health, and they can do a lot of damage. So you might think that this is OP, but they move very slow, and in Hawken, agility is pretty important, because you want to be able to dodge your enemies' bullets, rockets, whatever they're throwing at you. And yeah, this is a Class B mech. It's pretty much like all-rounder. It has pretty good. It has a decent amount of health, and it can do some decent damage. And it moves slower than the Class A mechs, but also faster than the Class C mech. So puts it around in the middle there. And within those categories are different types of mechs, like an offensive, defensive, and assassin-like, and support mech. I'm using a Class A mech, and it's called the Scout, and it's more of a defensive mech, so you're not supposed to really use it to go out and completely destroy the enemy team like some other mechs, but if you can use it properly, you can go out and destroy the entire team single-handedly. And the stats of your mech, don't rely all on what class it is and what type of mech it is. There are also things called internals, which are basically just like parts that you can buy and put in your mech to basically upgrade it. And every mech can purchase the same internals to keep it fair. So some that I'm using right now are, so after you kill an enemy, you will begin regaining 25% of your health over 20 seconds. Or there's also one that I'm using only on the scout, which allows me to do dodges midair. So you probably saw me do it a lot in this video so far. Basically, I'm in the air and I dodge left and right. Normally you won't be able to do that, you would only be able to dodge while on the ground. And yeah, there are also items that you can use. You can basically use them while, playing the game. There are health charges that you can deploy and heal yourself while you're fighting someone, or maybe some type of explosive, a radar scrambler, a sentry, like a rocket sentry, or a normal turret that shoots bullets, and many, many more different types of items. Lastly, you can customize the color of your mech. You can change the color of your camo, the color of like an accent they want to put on, and you can also now, a very recent update that happened yesterday, you can change the color of your cockpit, and different decorations are inside your cockpit, which I think is pretty cool. Now with Hawken, there are 5 main game modes. There's Team Deathmatch, which all you guys should know, Deathmatch, and Siege, which is basically where 2 teams have to collect energy and launch a battleship, which is its main goal is to destroy the opposite team's base. There's also a missile assault, which is basically the same thing as Siege, but instead of battleships, it's missile silos. And lastly, there's co-op bot training. Basically, it's one team of actual human players versus AIs, and it goes on forever. So it's basically like survival. What is cool in Hawken is that you can actually heal your mech. So after you're done fighting someone, you've probably taken a few hits from them and lost some of your health. So on PC, since it's only on PC, you just hold down C and you start repairing your mech. Although while you're being repaired, you can't move, you can't shoot, obviously, and you're very vulnerable to other enemies attacking you. So it's best to make sure you're in a safe spot before you heal. So some mechs that I have used and I'm pretty good at are the Scout, as you guys can see in this video. At least I consider myself to be good at the Scout. I don't know what your standards are. The Rocketeer, which is a pretty easy mech to master. Then the Technician, and the Reaper, and the Berserker. Although my all-time favorites are the Scout, the Berserker, and the Technician. I used to really like the Rocketeer until they patched it and nerfed it and now it's kinda my Hawken username is TheVengefulSoul. I'm sure you guys won't be surprised by that name. And yeah, thanks for watching.
Enemy sighted.
Might just start a riot. Might just start a riot.
Go hard like Hammer did. I'm with them hammer